Somehow, I broke my end-fed half-wave. We're going to take a look at this today and see if we can fix it. Before I do, a little bit of backstory. I took this thing, I guess it was maybe 3 weeks ago now, on vacation to Delaware. And I used it down there at Prime Hook National Wildlife Refuge out of the back of my car, and it worked perfect. No problems at all. I packed it into my motorcycle pack yesterday. I wanted to go out and do some moto POTA here in Connecticut. I got to the place I wanted to go, I set the antenna up, I hooked the radio up, and I couldn't hear anything. I tried transmitting, the SWR was high no matter what I did, so that was a fail. First time I've actually failed a POTA activation, by the way. Anyway, I packed everything up and came home. So here's a quick look at how I've got everything set up in the yard for testing purposes. The close end of the antenna, where the unon is on this 4-foot pole right here, tied off, which you saw in the previous clip. And the far end of the antenna is up about 16 feet on a pole over there by the corner of my shed. And of course, over here on this makeshift table, I have the antenna analyzer set up. Let's take a look at that now. Starting off in the 40 meter band, you can see I've got the analyzer tuned to about 7.2 megahertz. And you can see SWR is showing as 1.5, but the resistance is 160 ohms, which is high. It should be closer to, well, 50 ideally, but anywhere between, say, 40 and 80 or so is probably okay. But we're more than double where we should be. If I tune around a bit, you can see that the resistance stays high and the SWR really doesn't change much as I kind of go through. Now if I go up a little higher, here about 9 megahertz, you can see we're getting a little bit better resistance, but the SWR is going up because we're getting some reactance. Taking a look at 20 meters, 14 megahertz or so, you can see that we're getting about a 1.7 SWR, but again the resistance is off. This time it's low though. If I sort of start tuning up, you can see the resistance stays low and the SWR even goes higher. I brought the unon over to the workbench here, pulled the cover off to have a look inside, just to see if there were any broken wires or something had come loose. And from what I can tell in here, everything looks good. The only problem I'm seeing is one of the zip ties looks like it let go, so we'll pull that out and toss it aside. But other than that, I don't see any physical damage. Next, I want to check the balun to see if it actually is transforming the 50 ohm input impedance up to about 2500 ohm impedance at the antenna wire. So I found 3 resistors in my junk box that when put together in series should total right around 2.5K. Let's check it with the meter to make sure. As you can see, the total resistance is 2.445, and that should work out just about perfect for the unon. If you do the math and multiply 50 by 49, which is what this should step up to, you get 2450. So now I'll connect one end of my resistors to the antenna terminal, and then I'll use a jumper wire to connect the other end over to the counterpoise lug. So we'll start off on 40 meters, and you can see things are looking pretty good. Resistance of 51 ohms or so, a little bit of reactance, and tuning around, things look like they're pretty good as we would expect if the unon were good. Up on 20 meters, things are still looking pretty good. Resistance is a touch lower than it was on 40, but still I think everything checks out. While we're here, I'll cruise up into the 15 meter band, and things are looking pretty good here too. 60 ohms, 1.2 SWR. I think this unon is okay. Well, it looks like the unon checks out good. So the problem must be with the actual radiating wire, which is probably something I should have thought of in the first place. Let's go check it out. I've got my digital multimeter here, and I'm going to check the continuity end to end of the wire and see what we get. Now, given the fact that the wire takes more abuse than the unon, I probably should have thought to check it first, but nevertheless, here we are now. So here's the 2 ends of the antenna wire. This end with the lug, of course, is the side that connects up to the unon. And this end here is the far end, which I've stripped a little bit of the insulation off of so that we have some bare metal to work with. Before I test the antenna wire, I'll just touch the leads together to make sure everything's connected up properly. You can see on the meter screen we're getting 0.2 ohms, which is what we'd expect. So now I've got the meter probes connected up to the ends of the wire, and as you can see, we're getting open circuit. So we definitely have an open here somewhere. Now honestly, I knew we were going to get open circuit before I even probed the wire, because once I started picking this up and handling it, I realized that this felt like it was kind of broken. So I'm going to cut this end off and then we'll check it and see what happens. So if I probe both ends of the wire now, you can see we're getting 0.4 of an ohm of resistance, which is what we'd expect from a good wire. So I think I found the problem. I've got the antenna set back up, same configuration as before, just different spot in the yard. Got the analyzer ready to go and we're going to check it out. Now, I did actually make up a whole brand new wire instead of just putting an end on the old wire. I actually wanted a second one anyway for another project I'm going to be working on soon. Anyway, let's take a look at the analyzer and see what we've got. Taking a look at 40 meters now, you can see that everything is looking a little better than it did before. The resistance is closer to what we'd want. It seems like it's centered kind of right at the bottom of the band. If I tune up into the center of the voice part, you can see the resistance is a little low, but the SWR is about 1.2, so I think we can work with that. And if I just kind of tune around a little bit, things are acting a little more normally than they were before with the broken wire. If I check out 20 meters, you can see that things are looking pretty good here. Actually, this looks like it's tuned right about for the center of the band, so I think we're good right there. Now if I tune up to 15 meters, you can see things are actually looking pretty good here too. And just for fun, we'll take a look at 10 meters too. And that's actually looking pretty good as well. So I think we're back to normal now. I didn't grab any footage of this earlier in the video, but when I had the antenna broken before I was doing any troubleshooting, I did hook the radio up and was tuning around here in the yard and couldn't hear anything. But now we'll do a quick band scan on 40 and 20 and you'll hear there's plenty of signals coming through now.
Whiskey 3 Hotel Zulu United, 59+5, over. November 3, Romeo Charlie Whiskey, that's my boy Ricky in Maryland. You're coming in 59, Kilo 3805. Roger, roger. Name is Chris, Kilo Romeo India Sierra, location Marshall, Texas, over. And the 59 to 40, 59 plus for me. Thank you very much. Bye-bye, Milton. Thank you. Oh, they just trying to catch you off guard, man. You said something you wouldn't sign otherwise. Negative. I appreciate your heads up on the full moon and the other celestial things. Now I've got a KC3 Dad. You are a 5-8 coming into part K-7804 in Virginia, QSL. Anyway, have a great time, 7-3.
So as you saw and heard, it looks like the end-fed half-wave lives to fight another day. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to learn more about my channel, check the links in the description below. Thanks for watching. Using my... Thanks, Docs. So now I've got the... my antenna... Okay. I've got the antenna... Wow, I can't say that. Since the Either way, we're going to check it now. Really? What is going on here? If I touch the leads together... Oh, really? What is going on? Timeout? Oh. It would help if the leads were plugged in. And the plane has got to fly over right now. The car's got to go by. It's just me! Why are you barking at me? Can you stop barking? Ah, your head is cut off.